Welcome back to Restore Thrive, and today we are talking about workstation ergonomics. So this is a really important topic, and it relates to your long-term health. So this is something that we have especially been talking about with a lot of our clients through the pandemic, because people maybe had a good setup at work, but then they transitioned to working at home, and the setup is not at all ideal, and they're starting to have a lot of neck pain and shoulder pain and various things. So we've addressed this before, I think, on videos on our YouTube channel, but we want to kind of dive into this a little bit further in a little bit more depth today. And today we're specifically talking about the wrist. There's other things that you can do with your monitor. We may do in a different video talking about what the appropriate height of the monitor is. But today we're talking about the elbow and the wrist and how that relates to potential carpal tunnel or pain that you can have kind of from the elbow down. So Dr. Patrick here is all set up. Honestly, not great. But this is all we have is our table here. So we're going to pretend this is your desk at work. And what we want to see with the elbow and the wrist and the hand, ideally, is that your elbows are at 90 when you are typing. So if you are reaching forward, like Dr. Patrick was doing initially, that is actually the most stress you can put on the nerves that run down your arm. So if you have numbness or tingling in your wrist, hand, down your arm, this is the worst position for you to be in. And if you don't have those symptoms now, you're kind of setting yourself up to potentially have problems down the road. So that's one of the bad things. The other thing, if we get you back out there again, notice how he's really kind of hunched forward as soon as he gets further away from himself. So our arms are a long lever when they're out straight in front of you. So it really pulls on the mid-back, the neck, the shoulder, all of that. So bring those elbows back to 90 here, Patrick. So he's a PT, so he knows what good posture is, but kind of already as he pulls the elbows back to that 90-degree position, he's already getting himself in better posture just by doing that. So this chair is a little bit low for him. Ideally, we want to see you guys up a few more inches so that your hips are at a 90-degree angle as well, and your knees too. But he's pretty close here. So if this was his desk, we would want him to get some sort of keyboard tray that kind of pulls out so he can bring the elbows to that beautiful 90-degree position we like. If it's too low, you can get creative and you can put books underneath your keyboard. There's lots of different ways you can work around that issue if you have a fixed workstation. But we just wanted you guys to be aware that this angle here at the elbows is the best position to be in when you're typing. However you have to get yourself there is what you need to do. So the other thing we want to see is if his keyboard was right below his hands here and the desk or the keyboard tray was actually right here, is that the wrist stays in neutral. And neutral means you're pretty straight through the wrist. You're not cocked back and you're not hunched down. That closes down that carpal tunnel space. Not a great position for you to be in for that nerve or for that particular issue that we see with a lot of office workers. So you should be kind of hovering over your keyboard. We don't like to have you guys rest your wrists on like a wrist rest and then type. That actually puts a lot of pressure through the carpal tunnel as well. People don't realize that. They're like, oh, this is super comfortable. And they do make those super cushy, wrist rests. A lot of times on like a mouse pad, you'll see that wrist rest too, but ideally, you've got that wrist in neutral. If you got a mouse, you still have a neutral wrist and you're able to move that mouse around, you can type, and you're all good. So let us know if you have questions. Those are just a few simple tips for you guys. But as you work on this and kind of check yourself out at your own workstation, if you have any questions for us, you can check us out at restorethrive.com. You can email us at info@restorethrive, right? Making sure I got the right email address. Leave comments below as well if you have any